Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. I am so happy to have you joining with me today. I am a professional intuitive empath and we're going to jump right into the video. And the video title today is You Make Me Feel Like Shit. Are you stirring up your haters' demons? Now, the reason that this came up is because I had someone say this to me last year or the beginning of this year, and the thing that I had said to them that made them feel like such shit was, I love you. Why are you acting like this? And the reason that she felt that way, and I'm not disputing her feeling, but I think what happened was light and dark cannot exist. She was under some heavy demonic influences and she was out of her mind on drugs and alcohol and sex addictions and God knows what else, and had a lot of entities floating around her house and in her body, okay, in her soul. And I felt it because that's the work that I do. And what I want you to understand is sometimes people will not want you around or they'll reject you, and you will internalize that, especially my divine empaths and divine feminines, and you'll think, what did I do? How did we end up here? All I've been is good to this person. I know that's what I thought on my journey with this person, but the truth of the matter was it had nothing to do with me. I wasn't being mean to her, and I wasn't making her drink toilet water, and I wasn't telling her she was a piece. I wasn't. I was there to love her. And in fact, she was treating me like shit. She was giving me the silent treatment and being rude and disrespectful and gaslighting and lying. Just general terrible behavior. And not the way she was raised, unless that's how she was raised by Ice Cold and Mr. Ed. I don't know. But what I will tell you is I knew that I couldn't take it personally. My angels tapped me on my shoulders and they said, this is not about you. We have always taught you this in the Word, and this is why you are grounded in the Word. Dark and light cannot exist. So while she had counterparts and family members and other people in her ear and her own bad-minded devil energy communicating her, this person is bad, what was really happening was she didn't want me there to see her BS and to see her in her lowest, most cravenous state. The way that I felt she was like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, or anybody that gets the ring in Lord of the Rings when they just lose themselves to ego and just greed and lust and just everything that's like low vibrational, right? And so I couldn't take it personally. I will never forget it because of the way she spoke to me, and it was not something that kind of like vicious, and I actually heard demonic energy. I'll connect the video above here where I talk about the mask slipping and me seeing who she really was. But I heard like this warbling demonic sound from her when she said it. She screamed it at me. You make me feel like shit. And what I heard was like, it was like something out of a movie, y'all. I am clairaudient. I do hear things. I get a lot of messages through songs and downloads. I've never heard anything like that in my life, and I've talked about this before. Growing up Pentecostal, I've been at real exorcisms, and that freaked me out to hear that, because I heard her in the 3D. I heard her words, but right above it in the 5D, which is the spiritual realm, I heard it, guys. I heard it just as clear as I'm talking to you, and I knew I was in over my head. I was above my pay grade, and my angels were like, it's above you now. They were like, you pray over her and you get out and you don't look back. It's Lot's wife. It's lights out. She's totally sold herself to the dark side. She's essentially actually like rife with demons. And I was like, it was an unreal thing. But that was my story. It was wildly intense. But my question is, are you stirring up your haters' demons? This person was not like a fan of mine, and she had found someone to kind of like partner with and hate me with. And it was really just, it was a Twilight Zone experience. I did not expect that from her, I'll be honest. And so I was there treating her like my bestie that I had nostalgia for 20 years. And she'd become this like addicted, low vibrational demonic entity that was doing the bidding like a flunky of a mafioso person. And she'd given her power to this gutter snipe rat, and I was disappointed to say the least, but then I was like terrified because I thought, this is real BS, and I don't know that I want to deal with this. Sometimes when you're around somebody and you're standing in your light, empaths and light workers, you will make them feel bad, and they may treat you badly because they can't stand to have you around. Think about it. If you were a kid or a teenager, you're sneaking out, you don't want your mom and dad sitting right next to you in the room while you're doing the thing you're not supposed to. Maybe you're smoking pot in your room. you have a reflex. And even though that was not our situation, I liken it to that. She couldn't have me observe her at that state. She wanted me gone, and so she was as mean as possible to me because it was fun and it was delightful, but it served a purpose, which is to get me away, so I wasn't going to see her treachery. Even though she underestimated greatly my gift, I saw everything. And so in any case, if someone tells you that you make them feel like shit, they're projecting. In this case, this was a covert narc as well, so we'll take it to that psychological from the evaluation from the DSM. So she also wanted to devalue me, so it served multiple purposes. But just in the spirit realm, just in the heart to heart, just in this was my bestie, what I will tell you is when I drove away from her house, I knew I could not go back. I knew I wasn't going back before I went there. But what I will tell you is I knew that it wasn't about me. I made her feel like shit because I stood in my integrity. I made her feel like shit because I stood in my light. I made her feel like boo-boo because she could not pull one over me. I made her feel badly because I knew that she was linked up with toxicity. I made her feel badly because I knew that she was gossiping about me, and yet I was still being kind to her and not treating her like shit. I made her feel badly because I knew that she was telling my business to someone that I didn't trust, who was racist, who didn't like me, and who wanted to be in my position, and I still loved her in spite of herself. I made her feel terrible because I called her out on bad behavior one time, and I said, do you know that you've been trying to do this thing over and over and breaching my boundaries? And she didn't like that. That's why I made her feel like shit, guys. It wasn't about me. It was about how my reflection of light made her not feel. She was at her lowest. Maybe she's ascended since then, but in that time, I'll never forget. That song comes to mind, never seen you looking so fugly as you did that night. I'd always thought she was so beautiful, like an odd and unique beauty, right? Like not someone you see every day. The person she linked up with was very basic to me, like great hip to waist ratio. I'm never a hater, but very basic to me, like in the face. I didn't get, like, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But really, me and my bestie talked about that girl like broskies regarding that hip to waist ratio. So like I knew her, and I just thought, you're this stunning person. To me, she was, but I saw her not be that. It's like the spell was broken, guys. And the spell was broken because God said, come out from amongst them. You are not equally yoked. While I was standing in her house, he flashed the pigs going over the hill. And the reason that the pigs ran over the hill is because someone had casted demons out of a man and a person and cast them into pigs. And the pigs, rife with the demons, ran over the hill and over the edge of a cliff, and they killed themselves because the demons had taken over their bodies. And what my angels were communicating to me by showing me that Bible story, guys, be grounded in the word. It helped me so much to survive these two devils. But what I will tell you is I knew that she was just beyond what I could do. They said the person she had met up with was legion, many. She was very low vibrational, and it had affected everything about my person who I dearly loved. And it wasn't me that made her feel like shit. It was being in the light. Light and dark cannot exist, and that's why I could no longer be in her life. I couldn't wait for her to figure it out. A lot of you are on that divine feminine masculine journey, and you're like, one day my prince will come and they'll figure it out. I don't have time for that. I know how spirituality works. She was in real spiritual warfare. She had pulled me into it inadvertently, lied to me about it, wanted me to transmute her energy. She would come to me and say, this person makes me feel depleted and weak. She knew that she was dealing with an energy vampire, but instead of like fighting it, she was like, I'm Lestat now. It's Interview with the Vampire, except what she was feeding off of was crawfish. You know what Interview with the Vampire? That's an old movie with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and Kirsten Dunst. But when they can't get blood from humans anymore, they start feeding off of this bayou, the swamp, the bog, crawfish, and like alligators and things that are cold-blooded. So they're not really fed or sustained. And that's who she connected with, someone who at first seemed like it was going to be delicious and then was just draining her. So she would come to me at the end of the night and complain about everything and want me to fix her and raise her up. You raise me up, all Josh Groban. Meanwhile, she's kicking me in my throat and treating me like shit, making me feel like shit. And then trying to judge and come for my life, my energy, my career, my profession. Too much, y'all. So here's what I will tell you. If someone in your life says that to you, run, don't walk, because what they're dealing with may not always be demons. In this case, I know exactly what I was assessing and I was correct. But I'm a professional. Literally, this is what I do. But what I will tell you is it may be a sign that your time with whoever that person is that is projecting energy onto you, it's time to separate yourself, because what they're telling you is a prediction. Her intention was to make me feel like shit. She wanted me to feel badly about myself. Who the hell did I think I was? And the devil always felt that way. That's why he was casted out of heaven. If you know the story, a fallen angel. My angel fell. My person fell into the grips of something so unhealthy. But I couldn't stay there and be unhealthy with her, so that we both ended up feeling like shit. I had to let her figure that out herself, and I had to save myself. Empaths, if you're in a narcissist empath dynamic, you can't save a narc. That narc will narc until it doesn't narc, or it does narc. I don't know if a narc ever doesn't narc. I don't know. But what I will tell you is I don't stay to find out, and that was a covert narc, so it was very insidious. It was far more dangerous to me than any malignant, especially because she had complete access to me, and she hated me. She hated me, and her main mission was to make me feel like shit. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Come out from amongst them if they say that to you, if they project that to you, whether it's your lover or your best friend, a coworker, a colleague. You don't deserve that abuse. It is abuse. That was abusive. That was verbal abuse. And I am, it bothered me because that girl was racist that she was connected to, and I was like, right color, wrong year. Not today, Satan. Not today. My life matters. My energy matters. Respect to me matters. You will not speak to me like that. So that's what I had to do. I had to protect myself. But that's the lesson for you guys today. Come out from amongst them if they make you feel that way, or if they're projecting that you do, when you know for a fact, empath, that you're only there trying to love on them. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me today. Come back next time and we will continue to evolve together.